Mike, this is a first.
Hello.
3 Silverstone 1 cars in the shop at the same time. All waiting on various things. Funky. This one needs some love. It's gonna get it. This is an 01, first month of production for 01, Silverstone. All options but PDC and M audio. Original owner car, well, original family. Here for an MPI.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest.
F10 night. This car hasn't been driven in a few weeks. We had all that rain and it's just been in and out of the shop. So get out and get some heat in it, stretch its legs a little bit. It is cold in here, waiting on the heat to kick in. Escondido is a balmy 52 degrees right now. Jeez. Today, the majority of the day was the MPI on the 01 Silverstone. This is the gentleman that stopped up last week and just kind of heard about us online, stopped in, wanted to introduce himself and kind of see what we're about. So we explained that really the best place to start is the MPI process. It's 3 hours labor. Sounds like I'm doing a E39 source video here, but that helps identify everything that isn't right with the car, from something as trivial as a missing fastener or an improper nut holding up an underbody heat shield to bad control arms to engine oil leaks, anything and everything. We do notes on any aftermarket parts installed. And we've done this, for years now, but it's been done a little bit differently each and every time. And we're trying to build a template now that we've fully switched over to ShopMonkey, a template that's going to make it easier for us going forwards. And something a little bit more visual for the customer. Initially, we started with a piece of paper and we just write everything down. Then we figured out we need to prioritize this 1 through 3, the trivial things that maybe aren't really fitting in the budget right now versus the things that are safety or drivability issues that need to be resolved as soon as possible. They started off in Microsoft, or they started off on paper, then went into Microsoft Excel. I wrote it up as an estimate. And then had to look up every single part that's required on real OEM, all the fasteners and everything. So job header with the labor total, then every single part, then go and put that part number in my 4 or 5 different parts distributors websites, figure out who has the best price, figure out the markup. It took 10 or 12 hours to write these MPIs. It was ridiculous. So now we've switched over to ShopMonkey. The last several I've done just go right into a Microsoft Word document. Priorities 1, 2, 3. Then we do codes, report any codes stored in the various modules. A drivability score of what is the car like to drive, what are the pressing issues in terms of drivability. And then every customer has kind of a different priority on, do they want it to look good? Do they want it to drive well? Do they want it to be safe? What's the budget? What's the timeline? It's a little bit different for everybody. So now today we built the template in ShopMonkey that's going to allow us to just drop this template right in. Then we can go through the line items. So far there's 85. It'll be over 100 for sure by the end of the month as we find additional things. Some things just like today's the first one. So if, let's say, the center exhaust mounts weren't bad, I didn't even put it on there. But the next time I see a car with bad, where's the shifter, with bad center exhaust mounts, then I'm going to have to add that to the template. And it makes it really nice and easy visually. You get a little red, green, or red, yellow, and green dot. And if it's perfect, if it's fine, you put it on green and say it's good, don't worry about it. Or maybe it's close to needing attention and that one's yellow. Or if it needed attention yesterday or 7 years ago, now it is red. So you can also put in notes. You can take pictures and attach that right there. It's really simple. So anyways, we put the car through the process today, identified a ton of issues, big and large, that need to be sorted. He was very helpful and brought the service history that his dad kept and that he's kept since he's had it in the last 10 years. So we're able to quickly look and see, oh, the brakes were done. And it's had like 5 thermostats and a whole bunch of MAFs and cam sensors and plugs, and it's had a bunch of stuff done. But there's certainly attention it needs, both mechanically and visually. So he's elected to leave the car here. He's going to review the results tonight and tomorrow. We'll build a service plan, get the parts ordered, and get them on there. The blue car, I've driven it for a week, the Le Mans car, and I get a shadow code for the thermostat, code 69, engine coolant temp implausible. So I talked to the customer this morning. He decided he wants to go ahead and do the thermostat. So we redrained the cooling system, and all that was fresh except the thermostat. Drove it all the way down here from Oregon without any codes regarding the thermostat or temperature plausibility, so that's a new thing. Got the thermostat today, but there's a seal in the thermostat housing that's coming in tomorrow, so we should be able to finish that up tomorrow. The 545 is being picked up tomorrow and taken down to B&B Auto House, where it will have its pieces put back in on those eccentric shafts. Then we'll get it back, reseal the valve cover, and see how the engine runs. And then we open the can of worms on other drivability issues. So we have the brake issue, we have really heavy steering, a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna need to be sorted out. Still waiting on wheels for the third Silverstone car in there. It's the first time we've had three. That's Caesar's car that's been in there for a few weeks. They had to go back to get refinished, and there was a leaking valve stem. And initially they thought I was complaining about the color and they didn't want to do them again. No, there were some runs on the paint. It's just not as high quality as the last few finishes, plus the leak. So they're going to hopefully do that tonight or tomorrow, and we'll see them this week. And then they went down, my dad and Mike went down to the shop that's got the E60 this morning and checked up on things. They've done a ton of paint work. The paint all looks great. They fixed a dent in the door and the rear quarter panel that happened at the shop, unfortunately. So that's been sorted. They painted the new fenders, hood, and bumpers, but they're not hung yet. There's an acceleration sensor behind the front right fenders, one on each side. And there's a code for an acceleration sensor, which I was under the impression was inside the EDC strut, both of which are new and properly wired. So before we hang the fenders, we're just going to go ahead and replace that front right acceleration sensor. That was the impact area. The sensor wasn't that expensive. They went down today to put it in. The bolts on real OEM are M6x1 threads, and those are incorrect. They're actually M5 threads, so another error in real OEM. I could write a book about that, all the incorrect part numbers, incorrect quantities, and just incorrect parts. You order what it says it is, and it doesn't fit, it doesn't thread, it's not right. So we found some M5x1 bolts in the shop that we've taken off of some E39 years ago. They're going to take those down tomorrow, put those in, and then they'll be able to hang the body panels. In the meantime, my heated seat is kicking in. It feels good. I'm going to go home, order something for dinner, take a shower, watch a Laker game tonight, and chill. I think I'm just going to wrap this up here. That's what's going to happen tonight. That was today. We took a long time with that MPI because this is an investment moving forward. So building the template is something I'm going to easily be able to drop into the work order. And instead of these things taking, 4 hours to complete, my goal is to get that down to about 2. The problem is the estimates. Here I go on another 3-minute conversation. Skip ahead, I'll see you tomorrow if you're bored. Otherwise, I could put it all in there and report what's wrong with the car, but generally the next question is, okay, what do these jobs cost to rectify? So sometimes there's multiple ways to do that. If maybe we can use used parts or refurbished parts versus new parts versus aftermarket parts, OE versus OEM. There's all these different options. But in ShopMonkey, there's a way to save the canned services. So instead of writing a new work order every time I change S62 motor mounts, I can just drop that in. There's the parts, there's the labor. Problem is, the parts prices change all the time, especially with a new year. I'm noticing everything from BMW, FCP, ECS, SSF, IMC, Northside, everything has gone up a few percentage points. So my estimates or my canned jobs all need to be redone and have their prices updated. And that again is a copy the part number, paste it in 5 different suppliers, see who has the quickest, A, B, the cheapest. It's just a lot. It's a hell of a lot. And when I do these and I haven't done this job before and I don't have it saved as a canned job, then I've got to go in there and make it, and that takes a ton of time. So the one I did on that titanium M5 last Friday, the 31st, whatever, yeah, last Friday, that one I had 7 hours in writing that up, even in ShopMonkey. But I had to create about 15 new jobs. So now I won't have to create those again, but there's always going to be new stuff I'm making. It's just a lot. Work brain's going 100%. I'm dead. My back hurts. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Wednesday. Good night.